Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today, I have a special treat for you. I'm going to tell you about 3 horror stories haunted at abandoned asylums. Are you ready to get scared? Let's begin. The first story is about the echoes of Ward 13. In the heart of an abandoned hospital, Ward 13 stood shrouded in darkness. Its walls, once pristine white, were now a canvas of decay, the paint peeling like dead skin. The air was thick with the stench of mold and the weight of despair. They said the ward was haunted, that the echoes of the patients' cries still lingered, a chilling reminder of the pain once endured within its confines. The story begins with a group of thrill-seeking teenagers, daring each other to spend the night in the infamous ward. As night fell, they entered the desolate building, their flashlights cutting through the blackness. Laughter and bravado filled the air, masking their underlying fear. But as the hours ticked by, the atmosphere shifted. The echoes began, a soft whisper at first, growing into tormented wails that seemed to come from the very walls. The temperature dropped, breaths visible in the icy air, and the feeling of being watched grew unbearable. One by one, the teenagers started to experience unnerving visions. The apparitions of patients, twisted in agony, flickered in and out of existence, their eyes hollow with suffering. The teens realized too late that the stories were true. Ward 13 was alive with the souls of those who had passed through, their pain etched into eternity. As they tried to flee, the corridors twisted and turned, a labyrinthine trap with no escape. The echoes grew louder, the cries more desperate. It was as if the ward fed on their fear, relishing in the terror it inspired. By dawn, the door to Ward 13 swung open, revealing nothing but silence. The teenagers were never seen again, their fate a mystery to those who found the ward empty. But sometimes, in the dead of night, you can still hear the echoes, a haunting reminder that some places are better left untouched by the living. And so, the legend of the echoes of Ward 13 lives on, a horror story whispered in hushed tones, a warning to heed the cries that linger in the shadows. The second story is about the keeper of the North Wing. In the desolate halls of the long-abandoned Harrogate Hospital, there whispered tales of the keeper of the North Wing, a spectral entity bound to the oldest part of the institution. The North Wing had been sealed for decades, its history shrouded in darkness and despair. The story begins with a group of curious teenagers, daring each other to explore the forbidden wing. As they crossed the threshold, the air grew cold, and the faint sound of a melody played from nowhere. They ventured deeper, their flashlights casting long shadows on the peeling walls. They stumbled upon a room, the door slightly ajar, where an old gramophone spun silently. Suddenly it screeched to life, playing a haunting tune that seemed to echo through the ages. That's when they saw him, the keeper, a gaunt figure in tattered robes, his eyes hollow pits of endless night. He spoke in a voice like the rustling of dead leaves. "You dare to tread on my domain, to disturb the slumber of those who lie here?" The air grew thick with the scent of decay, and the walls seemed to whisper the names of the forgotten. The teenagers, gripped by an otherworldly fear, ran as the keeper's laughter filled the wing. They could feel his presence behind them, always just out of sight, his breath cold upon their necks. As they reached the exit, one looked back to see the keeper's true form, a mass of writhing shadows, with eyes that burned with a ghostly fire. They escaped, but the memory of that night lingered, a haunting reminder that some places are better left undisturbed. And so, the keeper of the North Wing remains, a guardian of secrets and lost souls, waiting for the next unwary visitor to cross his path. The third story is about the lost patients of St. Mary's. In the heart of an ancient town, shrouded in mist and forgotten by time, stood the dilapidated structure of St. Mary's Hospital. Its once pristine walls were now a canvas for the creeping ivy and its windows, empty eyes that held dark secrets. Whispers of the lost patients began when the town's oldest residents spoke of a time when the hospital was a beacon of hope. But darkness lurked in its corridors, an insidious presence that preyed on the vulnerable. It started with patient 27, a young woman admitted for a simple fever. But she never left. Her bed remained made, as if she'd vanish into thin air. Then patient 44, a soldier with a war-wounded leg, disappeared, his crutches left behind like skeletal remains. The staff spoke in hushed tones, fear etching their faces. They told tales of shadows that moved against the logic of light, and a cold that seeped into their bones, a chill not even the summer sun could dispel. One stormy night, a young nurse named Eliza ventured into the abandoned wing, drawn by a melody that wept through the walls. She found an old music box in room 404, its lullaby a haunting echo of the past. As she wound the key, the melody grew louder, and the walls of reality thinned. Eliza saw them then, the lost patients, trapped in a moment of time, their eyes hollow with longing. They reached for her, their whispers a cacophony of desperation. "Help us, free us!" She ran, the music box's tune chasing her, until she burst into the light of the nurse's station, gasping for air. But when she turned to look back, the corridor was silent, the door to room 404 locked, its number faded from the wall. The next day, Eliza was nowhere to be found. Her name was added to the list of the lost, another soul claimed by St. Mary's. They say the hospital still stands, a monument to the lost and the damned. And on quiet nights, when the fog rolls in thick, you can hear the faint melody of a music box, and the whispers of the lost patients of St. Mary's, forever searching for release. This tale is a work of fiction, crafted to send a shiver down your spine. Remember, it's the allure of the unknown that often makes stories like these so captivating. These are just one of the many horror stories. There are many more out there, waiting to be discovered and told. Do you have any horror stories of your own? Share them in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more spooky content. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious. Bye.